We are so excited today because we are bringing you BlowTYME. Hold on. BlowTYME. So that's why I look like a partially drowned rat today. Yep, I came on with wet hair so I can teach you guys my new favorite blow dries. So I'm going to start by spraying my hair with Upstage because it's ever important in your blow time. So you can see how many sprays I use, and everybody always asks if you can spray it in dry hair. Yes, you can, but I like your hair to be like a little bit damp. So up here is probably the better vicinity, but you know, I've been trying to maintain wet hair since about 9 o'clock this morning, so 3 hours of you know, hair drying. You know, it's not the perfect example for you, but you know, I'm doing my best here. So I'm just gonna spray in Upstaged and get it sprayed in nice. Okay, so that's Upstaged, and then I'm going to disperse it through all of my hair by brushing it in. So there's a couple of different ways that I start with my blow dry. Usually I start in the front, right in the very front, and then I blow dry to the back. Right now I've been spraying my front, so I might do a little bit in the back just to show you different angles because these pieces are almost dry. So I want to catch them before they actually do dry on you. So, you know, you'll notice that I'm focusing on having my hair, or the blow dryer, in the center of the round brush and moving down, and you'll notice the hair isn't getting too crazy around it. I like a controlled blow dry, and so I'm going to blow dry just a little bit different today because of how dry my hair is. So I'm going to show you, I'll try and keep you in the loop as to what's different when my hair is more dry as opposed to less dry.
Do you usually towel dry your hair?
Do I towel dry my hair? Yeah, I definitely like sit with my hair drying as long as possible. Like I do my makeup first and then dry my hair after that because I want my hair as dry as possible before I really start blow drying.
And just so that they want to know if your dryer has a cool setting.
Does my dryer have a cool setting? Yes, it's this button right here and it stays on. So each time I push it, it either turns it on or off. Okay, so we're just gonna blow dry. You'll really want to keep your hair focused, or your blow dryer in the middle section, and keep your hair as controlled as possible. And when you want more volume up top, I'll show you how to do that. This blow dry for me is about just control, because my hair gets a little bit crazy. It's, you know, I always refer to it as like horsehair. So my goal is always to just get it smooth and as much volume as possible. So right here, I just pull everything forward, and I'm going to redo this section because your ends will dry naturally. So you really want to focus on getting the more dense hair. You know how there's more hair at the top and less hair at the bottom? You really want to get that top hair as dry as the ends before you move down through the ends. So that's why I dried it so many times first, and then I'll just take, you know, 1 or 2 swipes over the ends. And you really just want to, it's all about control, a good blow dry.
Do you recommend brushing your hair right out of the shower or waiting a little bit?
I definitely like to wait. I don't like you know, brushing through when it's sopping wet because I think it's just miserable. You get your mirror all full of drops of water. So I just kind of let it towel dry in the beginning and air dry, and then when I'm done with my makeup is when I start brushing through it.
And then is it better to blow dry with the concentrator or without it?
Oh, definitely I would say with, because it's all about controlling and knowing exactly what you want to dry. So you see, like, I'm not causing a lot of disruption over here on the surrounding pieces. I'm only drying exactly where I want, which is right where my airflow is, in the center of the brush. That way it has time to run over the back and create that volume.
And then so that they want to know, do you always use a round brush or does it depend on the style you want then?
definitely depends on the style I want that day. So I'll try and show you a little bit of the difference with another blow dry on the other side with a paddle brush. So this piece I usually like to just go straight forward. And then make sure that's really controlled.
And they want to know, do you dry the ends last, or does it matter at all?
So the goal is to get, all right, so let me talk about that part because I think that's very important. The goal is to try and get this part that holds moisture more because it's more dense and more like, what's the word? It's all grouped together really. You know, like it's up here, it's really all together, and down here it gets more dispersed. So the goal is to really get the water out of here as much as possible to then match the lower part of it. So I'm always trying to dry this to match how dry this already is, and then I use a consistent flow after that. Okay, so I missed a piece underneath here, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that piece.
And they want to know if the higher is on, or the dryer is on high setting right now.
No, I actually blow dry on low because I always like utilizing that time now, and I find that I get a better blow dry on low on this blow dryer because like if I'm blow drying on a client, I can do high because I can control every movement and I can see exactly where the pieces are and all this, you know, all the other factors. But when you're on yourself, when you're blow drying on yourself, you have like, you can't, I don't know how to explain how it's so much easier to work on somebody else than on yourself. In your arms, you know, it's just so many factors and your angles that you can get. So I like blow drying on low and then watching videos or listening to music or talking on the phone or whatever instead. It's made my blow time much more enjoyable. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this piece. I'm gonna put this over so that I can get underneath here and get a clear shot at it. I can turn it on high so they can hear the difference and see the difference. And I think you can still hear me pretty good over the high. I wish I could compare another blow dryer, but I don't want to bash another blow dryer, you know? So you see how like more pieces get dispersed around? You see how these pieces start flying around when I have it on high. So that's why I like the low setting and high heat for my hair. Because then I don't have all that chaos around. It's kind of like, you know, like, have you guys ever like turn on your windshield wipers too high and it makes it feel all panicky? That's what high settings feel like to me when I'm blow drying on myself. Now that I'm used to the low setting, I never did that before because I never had a blow dryer that was like powerful enough to do that. That I could blow dry on low. It feels so peaceful. It doesn't feel like, oh, I gotta hurry, I gotta get everything under control. And then I can learn and watch videos and stuff. I say you can get a Harvard education while you blow dry your hair now.
And so can any hairstyle use a round brush?
Yeah, you know, I think it's basically if your hair can wrap around the round brush, then you can use it. So you think of the very, very short hairstyles, they would want to do more like the triangle brush because it just, like if you think about a super short piece and trying to wrap around that big brush, it would be kind of goofy. But anything past that, yeah, you can.
And there's people that want to see you using a paddle brush as well.
Okay,
Whenever you get a
so
chance.
I'll do that on this side. Let me just make sure I have my left side in order so that we can kind of compare the two. I think I just didn't blow dry this fully, so let me get a little bit more. It's kind of tricky when you have your hair like half wet.
And they did want to know when you use the cool setting. And you might have to repeat that thing.
Oh, so cool setting? Okay, so where hair cools is where it stays. So if you're really working towards getting big volume is where you'd want to use the cool setting. Okay, so that's one side. So let's talk about paddle brush blow drying. Okay, so this is my new favorite blow dry. This is the one everyone's been asking lately what I've been doing, and that's what I do is I just blow dry everything forward like that. And it's like the same motion as the iron. Everything is just here and forward, and it is like, it's bonkers how much time that saves me from all this other stuff I used to do. So paddle brush blow drying. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna focus on from scalp to mid shaft to start, and then we'll catch up the ends later. And hopefully I can bring them around because they're so dry already, but I can still show you the effect of it. So what I do when I do a paddle brush blow dry is I displace all the natural fall tendencies. So I move the hair away from where it naturally falls, and I'm really focusing right at the scalp to mid shaft, okay? And so you wanna move all of it up and over, and same here. So everything comes up and over. And you're just really focusing, you see how I don't dry the ends. The ends come into play later because I don't want to over dry the ends. That's a real big problem. A lot of people focus too much on the ends and then they over dry them, and that's why you struggle with hair growth and frizz and, you know, lots of, you know, removing the shine from your hair. Okay, and so once I get that mostly dry, then I can start coming in and drying further down. If you don't make too much of a knot like I just did. Okay. So the biggest thing is always knowing where your airflow is hitting, not being back here. That'll cause collapse. Up here will cause just controlled and more volume, because whatever it runs over, this is going to give me a more straight look than the other side. And the other thing you could do is you could continue through with a round brush after you do the scalp area to start. And you can see how that's turning out pretty good. The main thing you want to do is focus on that you're maintaining shine all throughout the blow dry. You want to make sure that you're not removing it. If you've taken the shine out of it, then you've gone too far. So you can see, like right here, that it's still damp. You can tell just by looking at the hair that it's damp, because it almost looks like you have an oil in your hair, and it looks like it wants to like group together more. When hair gets dry, it will still have its shine, but it'll be freed up a little more to move around and won't get so like clumped together. Do you have any more questions yet?
There's one about the stylists. Are the stylists, can you do a stylist session with the blow dry?
Yeah, absolutely. Our stylists are well versed in our products, whether it's blow drying or the iron. So you can absolutely, if you get a BlowTYME, you can absolutely sign up for a stylist session. So right here, you can tell I'm not going to get that probably out with this, with the paddle brush, because it doesn't have enough grip. The bristles are too far apart for me to really get the control I need at this point, because it's too dry, right? And so I'm going to need a little tension to really control the rest of this piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blow dry this in another shape so that you can see the difference between blow drying back like this versus down like I did on the other side. And you'll really see the difference of how just holding your brush different can take a different shape. Tammy, is there anything you've learned from blow drying that you really want people to know?
Yeah. Spinning it instead of pulling like down and outward.
Yeah.
And then I was getting a weird curl.
You were spinning instead of going down and out?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Like down.
Yeah.
I was just spinning.
Oh, you were spinning in place.
Spinning in place.
Yes, and then that means you're hitting the piece over and over with too much heat if you're just spinning it in place. So you want to make sure you're always moving your brush around. That is so key. Tammy's paying more attention to the blow dry today because she's like, I need to learn more about the blow dry.
Definitely, there's a lot to learn.
Yeah, and you know, just try and find ways that you can hold the brush more comfortably. See, like me getting under here and keeping a consistent brush angle is much harder than just going underneath from the back like this. So, you know, try and experiment with brush angles because they can do tons to make the blow dry easier for you, make your blow time more enjoyable. That's gonna be our new motto.
And now the back, there's a lot of questions on the back of the hair. This is not
Okay.
like
Well, the big thing you want to do is just make sure that you focus on this scalp area, right? That is the key part, because a lot of people don't blow dry back here. They only focus on all of this. So if you move around, can you hear me? I guess when I have my back turned. If you move the hair around, you know, to the front and break that natural fall tendency back there, you'll be sure to get that back as well. So you just want to really focus on that scalp area like I did in the beginning. Normally, if you do, you can see a little bit about how this side bumps out more because I did that. My angle on this side was to blow dry like this, but it had already dried into that natural curl, but it would be more of a shape like this versus how this one was down and forward. And this is really great. The down and forward is really great when your, you know, bang area is like here, but now it's like getting to a point where I can't really do that anymore. I need to start doing this one so that it'll give you more volume and control out here. So, I wish I could, I think I might spray that a little bit better to show you guys, because I think that's an important point to show. Because when that looks good, it looks really good. If you do this low, it's like so peaceful. You're like, oh yeah, you can talk to me. I can talk on the phone. I can watch videos, find out what my favorite songs are. Let some YouTube videos play, whatever you do. If you have a TV in your bathroom, you know. So yeah, I don't know. And so you can also just blow dry on cold the whole way. If you don't have like, if you have a Jenny type hairstyle, it's a lot easier for you to do a cool blow dry, right? Because Jenny, like her hair will dry straight regardless. Or like Brooke, if you can remember Brooke from a couple weeks ago. But you can see how this gives you a lot more volume in doing that. And then I get like a little flippy thing. So you can start, you know, that's how you can round brush a curl in as well. So it's just about turning and getting the right angle. And you can see how this one's almost turning towards my face and creating the opposite curl, right? So you could see how eventually this would come around and become a curl if I really focused on it becoming a curl. So that's the difference between holding your brush and turning back on this side and going down and forward on this side. So one curls towards your face and one curls away from your face. And I think those are really helpful hints. I think that's really, really key for, you know, knowing which look you like. Because like, this is probably, I need to change into this blow dry now because this has been driving me crazy lately. The last few weeks, you'll notice me touching my hair a lot because it's like falling in all the time, and I think that's why. So thanks for the epiphany today, guys. Yeah, okay, so now how do I bring this together? I think I'm gonna part this over on this side so that I can, you know, shape it, and then I'll show you what I would do to spray it in. So normally I can get all these like bumps out, but because I've been air drying my hair for 3 hours, it's a little more difficult today. It's a bit of a challenge because it's already set in. So I'm gonna spray this piece and see if I can get it to set more straight. Okay, that's kind of good, because you need to really focus on your spraying, right? What is it? What do I say for spraying? Oh, spray with purpose. Yeah, I was like, what? I can't think of what I say. Okay.
Where hairspray dries is where hair stays.
Yeah. Yes, where hairspray dries is where it stays. Okay.
Yeah, because I've never sprayed so close to my face like you do. Like I always sprayed it all around me, all over the air.
Yeah, I know. Tammy would spray her counters, her floors.
Everywhere but my hair.
Yeah. Well, that's a different look. I haven't come up with that look before. I got a real curly curl today. So I'm going to just brush in Timeless to really keep that shine look. I think that is so, so key to the blow dry. Do you guys ever not use Timeless now? Like,
No,
do you ever?
And it actually, I think like for static as well.
Yeah, definitely for static. Yeah. So, okay, well that's a different look. Okay, so we learned to do blow dry today. Well, I'm just really impressed by this round brush curl I've done.